Welcome to the Celtic Craft Studio. I'm Terry, and as promised, we are going to start document journals today. I think today we'll probably get the covers done and talk a little bit about what goes inside. So that'll be our part one. But I wanted to show you a couple of examples. Let me start with this one, because this one we're not going to do this time, but we may do another time. This was kind of fun. I saw this, and I'm sorry, I don't remember where I saw it, but I thought, wow, what a great idea. If you'll see, do you see my file folder? And this is a file folder. And then I used my scoreboard to score this so that it folds in. Okay, so it actually goes like this. This folds in like that, and it goes like that. Sorry, that's the front. Okay, and that is a document journal. So I loved this idea. This was just the coolest idea, and I think I still have some finishing touches. I have so many unfinished projects, which, you know, I don't feel bad because I watch all these other YouTubers and they have the same problem I do. So, but maybe together we can make one of these and I can actually finish this one. So we will do this later on, somewhere down the line, when we make another document journal, because this is different than what we're going to do today. And this is the type of document journal that we're going to do today. What I did was I took a blue folder, a blue file folder, which I'll show you in a minute because we're going to cut it down to make a cover. And then I used, let me get her little thing so you can see this. I use Joff's papers. If you've heard of Joff, she does Medieval Mirage. She is Medieval Mirage on Etsy. And this is the French Rococo Rhapsody. All right. And I think it's her first document journal kit. I don't think I ever saw, I've used her papers many times. And then all of a sudden I discovered a document journal kit. So I went ahead and I downloaded it. Now her kits are a little more expensive than some, but you get loads and loads and loads of things. I have made so many journals out of one kit that it really is worth your money. So go check it out. She's got some great stuff, especially if you're looking for those period pieces. Beautiful, beautiful papers. So this one, I used one of her papers to create the front. And then I always decorate with laces and things that kind of make it look antique-y and feminine. Okay. Now, you do you. So if you like some other style, then you do some other style. But in this, we have the papers that come from the kit. And then I added extra papers that I have downloaded from Roxy Creations. She has a lot of document size papers. So there's plenty out there for you to go download so that you have these for your document journal. And then, of course, I use my tea-dyed paper from the Vintage Style Snippets. Somebody said she liked the coffee dyed paper. That's where I get them. I did not do them. I wish I had the time, but I don't have the time. So I let Nell from the Vintage Style Snippets do them for me, and they are beautiful. So go visit Nell and tell her I sent you. And then I have pages from, I think this is an Italian book that I have. And I use those in here. I think that makes it very interesting. And then you'll notice I printed on both sides, so you don't have this blank white paper. I don't have a lot of lines except on the cards, on the journaling cards and things. Once again, this one isn't quite finished, but as we do our others, we'll finish this one too. And they'll go in the shop. All right. I use a lot of lace. If you have some old fabrics or old lace, I used a lot of the laces to decorate the pockets, which we'll show you when we do some ephemera for our journals. And did I pass the straw paper? And didn't say anything. Yes. And Rachel has more than just the gold straw paper. So if you wanted some other color, go check it out. Or, you know, use something else. I oftentimes like to use handmade paper, which you can find on Amazon. You can also sometimes find it in Hobby Lobby or art stores. I have seen handmade paper in art stores, which is kind of fun. And you can use those in document journals. All right. Side pockets. We'll talk about side pockets. She's got some beautiful ephemera in her kits too. Not just the pages. You get everything in her kits. You get both the ephemera and the pages. Like I say, it really is. You get a lot for your money. All right. Is this the center? Are we to the center yet? No, we aren't. Oh, that's another pocket though. There's a lace pocket with some roses, another piece of Italian paper, which, as Rachel calls it, I created a flip out. All right, and we'll show you, I'll show you how I did that. There's a belly band, and here's the middle. And in the middle, I kind of created this. I made this page smaller. And then inside, of course, we have our envelope that hides our strings. Okay? So this is a work in progress. And let me show you how to begin. All right, so I've got one that's kind of halfway there. Once again, we're going to do this in stages. So let me put her to the side, but we're working on this one. She's partially glued, so I'll show you the gluing process with her. This one, we will show you how to cut the file folder. Just a plain blue file folder. Now, sometimes you can get file folders that aren't white inside, but this is white inside, so you just have to work with it, okay? Sometimes you get a challenge, and you just have to go with the challenge. Let me, for those of you that love measuring, let me take this out and measure our piece here. All right, this is a little over 8. Little over 8. So I must have cut it at 4. Yes, I did. Okay. Hang on, I heard a noise. I heard a noise. All right. Noise has been hushed. All right, so where's my cutter? All right, so I'm going to cut this 4 inches, which is, and make sure you're cutting it the right way. Okay, we've got our little opening over here. There's the crease. Believe me, I have made, when I first started out, I made so many mistakes cutting the wrong direction, the wrong size, that I check and double check now. So we've got this for our cover. Now we have a document cover. Isn't that nifty? And I am going to, this is going to be the cover. Like that. And then I have a piece of paper. It's a Rachel paper that's going to go on the inside. All right, so let's glue that down. And once again, I find it easier to glue on one side, get it down, and then get the other attached. I just think it's easier that way than trying to line the whole thing up and getting frustrated, which is what happens to me. So let me get my Oohoo glue on here. Once again, make sure you get to the edges, but you can always go back if you have to and glue it down with your, yep, there goes the cover. You can always go back and glue it down with your 3-in-1. All right, make sure it's covered well. Okay. Reach down and get your cover, which fell on the floor. And then you want to center it. And I always, my mother framed pictures for many, many years. And they always make, when you're doing mats, the bottom is always bigger than the top. It's some kind of optical illusion thing. So I've always made the larger at the bottom, not the top. See, now I've got a corner that I didn't get. I thought I got, but I didn't get. So I'm going to take my 3-in-1 and I'm going to get that corner real quick. Even when you think you got it all, there's always some little spot that wants to stick up. So let's get that down. All right, so that's our cover. Make sure you got it smooth. You don't have any lumps and bumps. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue the other piece in. All right, put our glue down. See, I look like I went right to the corner, but there will probably be some corner that's sticking up. All right, and then I take it, make sure it's the right way up. There's writing on it, so you got to make sure it's the right way up. And once again, you're going to have a little bit at the top and the bottom. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to cover that. I'm probably going to use lace, but you'll see that in another part when I decorate. All right. So we have that half down. We're going to come back. I'll do that off camera. Make sure you get your glue goos off. There we go. All right. And then this is the stuff that goes in the center of this one. So I'm going to set this aside. And we'll finish this one. I already have the back glued on and part of the inside glued on. So let's go ahead, glue our paper. We'll do the paper instead of, which I should have done before, but oh well. Ah! Okay. Carefully glue this down. Love that. It's beautiful. Once again, a Rachel paper. And I think this is the one that Lulu designed the iris. I'm sure Rachel's not watching, but if she were, she could tell us. I think that is an iris that Lulu designed. All right. And, oh no, we're looking pretty good. There's a little bit of a hangover, but we'll cut that off. And this is up to you now. Like I say, when I started this whole thing, you can ink, but you don't have to ink. And maybe this is one of the things you don't want to ink. I like it to look a little antique-y, but I don't want it to be overly antique-y. So I may ink some things and not other things. Just kind of up to you and your taste and how you want it to look. Alright, let me get the glue on. This is our cover. Make sure you get all the edges out, or the bubbles out, I mean. All the bubbles out so it's nice and flat. Okay, I had it folded because it had dried, but because I glued these two, I'm going to let it dry before I fold again, because you don't want to create any creases. Oh, and I feel an edge or a corner. There's a corner. Let's get that corner down. All right, got that corner down. So I will put this over here to dry and show you what I'm putting inside, so you can start gathering your things for your document journal. Okay, let me put that over here. I have some papers from the kit that I thought go well, and I always, you know, kind of think about what paper you're going to see in here. And that's what helped me decide. To me, the colors go together. It just blends beautifully. So it worked perfectly with that. That's why I decided on that for the front page. This was in the kit, so was that. And here's the tea-dyed paper. Once again, you can use any kind of, you can do your own tea-dyed paper, or there are places on Etsy where you can download tea-dyed paper, you know, that you print out. It's not actually tea-dyed or coffee-dyed. And then there's that from the kit. This one, I believe, was a Roxy. Let me show it to you. I think they're like ads or something. Okay. Straw paper. Another piece from the kit. Here we go with an Italian book page. And I made it fold out, so I'll show you how we're going to glue some things on here that will flip out. I believe that's a Roxy. And see, this is printed. That's a printed coffee dye. These are from the kit. An actual coffee dye. That's a Rachel. And here's another piece of Italian paper. Came from an Italian dictionary, and I love the feel of it. I think this is what Rachel calls rag paper. It's got a really cool feel. And then here's our center with our envelope. Okay? And those are the papers that we put together for our journal. Next week, we will talk about decorating our cover, and I'll probably go ahead and sew these in. It is much easier, in my opinion, to sew in a signature in a document journal. One, you're just dealing with one center, so you're not worried about things being too far off. So we'll probably go ahead, sew in our signature, decorate our cover, and talk about the kinds of ephemera that we want to start putting together for our document journal. So there we are, the document journal. Go gather your things, start making your journal. Once again, if you're making a journal, I'd love to see it. Go to my Facebook page, the Celtic Craft Studio on Facebook, and download your pictures. Put your pictures on there so we can all see what you're doing. I would love to see that. Thank you again for all the people that have said such kind and wonderful things, that have been so encouraging. I really appreciate your encouragement. I hope that you will tell your friends, bring them along, have them come and play along with us, make a document journal with us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell for notification. And until the next time, stay crafty.